Okay, great. Let me come to you, Reverend Okumi, and then be a bit direct about this. Um, Now, when we especially, I mean, I'm not even talking about people who are already married. I remember the last time we had a conversation with Uncle Ebo. He mentioned that if you're already married and some of these issues are coming up, you have bigger work on your hands because you're already in there. But for people who are now planning to get into marriage, you have an opportunity to have some of these conversations and be very clear in your mind where you are headed before you finally make that decision. So for people who are planning to get married, for instance, or who are talking relationship and marriage, how important is this conversation about compatibility, and how extensively should it be discussed?
Okay, so
should it even be the focus at all?
They need to answer specific questions, and these questions is not answer question 1 or 2. You are attempting all the questions, and you must answer them and be clear in your mind before you take steps forward. The first question I would want all of them to answer is, why do you want to get married?
Okay.
Because and I always do my little core science. If you are going to get married because of physics, which means that you are marrying the person because the person is tall, square-shouldered, impeccable language, or you are marrying a figure, lady will tell you that all these things are subject to change with time. Yeah. And then you hear people saying funny things like, if you don't do anything about your shape, I will leave you because I married your shape.
Hey.
On radio, I can't use the word, but that is an absurdity. So that is the first question. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. We're listening.
Yeah, so the question is, why do you want to get married?
Okay.
Number 2, if you are already in a relationship, the bigger question is, all the shortfalls you have found in your partner, can you live with it for the rest of your life?
Okay.
The third question,
if you are expecting them to change and they don't, let's say that they don't ever change.
That question should not come.
Great.
God does not. What you bring to God is what He blesses. So you cannot see somebody sharpening a wooden piece and He tells you, when I finish, I'll pierce your eye, and you pray about it. You break the stick. Then the second thing, one of the questions you need to answer, and this is very, very important. What do you love about your partner?
Okay.
If you fall in love with what you can see, you'll be disappointed. Those who have stayed in marriage like Lady and others, there's a quality in her husband which she can't even put her finger on.
Okay.
And that quality stays with the person as long as the person lives. It has nothing to do with the person's physique. It has nothing to do with whether the person has grown bald. It has nothing to do whether the person has lost all his teeth or her teeth. Everything borders on an innate congenital quality that complements you. We come back to the same word. God wants somebody who will complement you in life and help you fulfill your destiny. So these are the things you are going to look out for. But if you are walking around planning days and looking for color and looking for cards in courtship, you are missing it.
Let me quickly find out from you, Reverend Okumin, before I come to Lady Reverend. So if you're having these conversations and you're asking these questions and you realize that your thoughts are not really together on some of them. For instance, why do you want to get married? This other person feels like, oh, I am getting married because I'm growing old. I think I am mature. I think I am ready, and so I want to get married. The other person wants to get married because they want to be complimented. I think I have gotten to the point where I need a helpmate and all of those. So on those bases, your thoughts are even different. Can you live with your partner for the rest of your life? Reverend, you know that quite often we hope that the person isn't what we really are looking at, but we're hoping that they will change, and that plays out all the time. You're hoping that they will change. But then we're learning also this morning that don't even go in expecting a change. So if you go with the thought of expecting a change, your position is already flawed. Then, what do you love about the partner? Oh, yes, you have somebody who says that, look, I love your legs, I love this, I love that, and I think you're a good person. So the good person is the think, but what really is pushing you in is what you're seeing.
The physics.
Yes. So if you're in the course of the conversation, when you realize that your thoughts are not gelling together, what do? Do you begin to shape them to understand where you are coming from, or you let it be?
Yeah, so in shaping them, you then understand that if you get into this relationship, you are going to invest.
Okay.
Now you get to me, right? Yes, from day one. You know that you are going to invest. And don't delude yourself with trying to pray about something you are seeing and hoping. Because I believe that our partner will be successful in meeting our needs. It's a dangerous premise to get into marriage.
Okay.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, when you see these things, you may call them amber flags, you may call them red flags, and you still walk in. It implies that you are prepared to invest your emotions, your time, everything, your pride. You are going in there to work.
Great.
Even those, and if you hear that we have been married for 37 years, it is not 37 years of playing chaskele, it's 37 years of work. It's work.
Yeah.
And it's investment. And those are the two things young people must understand.
Marriage is not work and investment.
Yes. And when I say investment, it's not about only money. It is your emotions, your intellect, your passion, your everything will be taxed.
Yeah.
To keep this relationship on track and enjoy it. Well, seriously, if you don't work, how will you enjoy? There's profit in labor, isn't it?
There is, surely.
In all labor, actually.
Lady Reverend, let me come to you now. Are there any more questions you think we should be asking when we are, having the conversations? Or I can go ahead to ask my question.
I think that, like Reverend said, when you see the signs, Jesus said, even when you see the fig tree sprouting, you know that summer is near. But even in life, when you see the clouds, you know it's going to rain. So God doesn't put us in a place where we don't use our minds anymore and just power. Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. So what you are seeing is real. And what I tell people is, whatever you are seeing you don't like, multiply it by 1,000, because you are going to see 1,000 of it.
Oh my God.
And then ask yourself whether you can live with it, like Reverend said. So I think that most of the world has gone in the opposite direction, in the wrong direction, because we are seeing marriage as a playing field. But like Reverend said, it's very hard work. And it's investment. I don't know why when we are building a business, we'll stay up late, we'll come home late, we'll be doing this, we'll be working hard hours. But when it comes to our marriage, we feel that, when you are working at it, it means there's something wrong. Maybe you should just give up. So I think that the whole world should know that marriage is hard work. The only good thing is that the Bible says in all labor there is profit. But if it's called labor, then it is hard work. The Bible says labor of love. Labor of love. But I don't think the movies and the books tell us that. So marriage is very hard work. And when you see anybody like Reverend said who has been married many years, it means that the person has developed some muscles after working so hard. And the grace of God has also been on hand. But having said that, I think that, Amos 3:3 says, can any two walk except they be agreed?
Precise.
So to agree in vision, you have to agree in values. I mean, you may be Christians even, but you may not have the same values. Or you may not have the same extent of maybe sacrifice, or extent of love of God, or extent of what you think about ministry, or extent of what you are willing to walk away from, or extent of how much you fear God in terms of His word and all that. You will see all these signs. And even when you see the signs, after marriage, you will still have some surprises. Because we all change. And we all go through different things. And the different things show the different aspects of us. So yes, you need to have that conversation. But some people have married, let's say they married doctors. And then midstream, the person says, God has called me to be a preacher. What are the professor that you marry? You're going to be devastated. But you must marry the content and not the package.
Thank you.
Differences,
Thank you.
Differences may have to be celebrated. Because what is my weakness may be my husband's. In fact, this is strength. And what is his strength may be my weakness. But when something is your strength, you despise the other person because it's not his strength. But that's not God's intention. God's intention is that the weak will build the stronger in the different parts of it. And that is where the hard work comes in. So yes, there must be compatibility in the type of vision. First of all, the God you serve. It's not just about going to church.
Yeah.
The type of, the way you serve, your values, your belief system, and all the things I've talked about, and your grace to live with certain flaws. Some of the flaws, when you see it as a person, you see that no, this one I can't. So you must run. Instead of saying, oh, he will change. He will not change. This is Mother's Day person. He has not changed. So you are not the personal Holy Ghost coming to change him.
Okay, great. I am learning, from the conversation we've had so far, that obviously there isn't, nobody can find a fine fit. Like I go out in search of a partner and oh yes, I find somebody who complements me through and through. You will have to work at it. You need to have conversations and you need to make adjustments and sometimes make compromises. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. Yeah.
Somebody you flow with more.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Yes.
Okay. So it's leading me to the question I want to ask. If you will have to make adjustments, you flow with the person, all right, but you still have to make adjustments. You still have to make compromises here and there, especially so when the other person is willing to work with you. Now I want to find out, are there certain things that you shouldn't compromise on at all or make adjustments for at all when you're having this compatibility conversation? Does it get to a point where you go like, okay, if we're not getting, if we're not finding a good headway on this, we don't have to try it, we just have to let it go? Are there certain things that we should not make compromises on at all?
Yes. The word of God, if you are a Christian, says that you cannot marry an unbeliever. You can't compromise that.
Okay.
And I know people who have shared with me, they are married and literally they are idols in the wardrobe. This is not like Hansel and Gretel or a fairy tale. I've had to counsel people like that. They are married and they have found that when their children are sick, they are taken to other places for all sorts of, in the night, the first night, They have seen stars filled with so many things because there's a covenant somewhere. So Christian sisters especially, they just follow anything and everything in the name of love. And I don't think it's a good foundation. Even when you are two Christians, it's still hard work. How much more two divergent people? I don't think you should go there. And then some of the things, if you are going to marry a man, ask yourself, can I respect him? Because the Bible says, let her see to it that she reverences him. So if you don't respect him from the beginning of the relationship, sometimes it's not even compatibility, it's just the behavior. Or you're not allowed God to change you. I mean, we are all sinners, but at least if you allow him, he will modify and change and work on you. You know, but you look at the man, you despise him already. Why do you want to change? You know, sometimes you say, Christine is there in a man, why you look down. So leave him with his system. Somebody can hold him. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, we see the things and we think maybe out of desperation sometimes it will work or it will. I don't think it's a good place to start. So there are some things you can't compromise on, like your faith, your values, your belief system. And there are certain things you can compromise on. I mean, my mother married my father. My father was not so well educated because he was an orphan, but he did very well for himself and was far wealthier in the end than her. But at least she respected him and revered him, and I think that it brought them to a good place. So it may not be compatible even intellectually, and that can also bring problems. I'm not saying everybody should be intellectual, but depending on your bent, you know, maybe you are talking about COVID-19 and the person doesn't know what you are saying and things like that. That may be just conversation, but you can bring the person along if you are ready for that work. If you are not ready for that work and you see that you are really, really apart, maybe you shouldn't venture, because we are all supposed to work on each other to become, especially the men, to work on the woman, removing all spots and wrinkles, so she becomes like the bride of Christ.
What about the everyday things that we have to deal with? For instance, your thoughts on finances, your thoughts on sex and intimacy, you know, and raising children, discipline, and all those things that you will have to live with daily. When those conversations come up, how do we go about them?
Well, okay. If I may come in and just add a few things to the things you shouldn't compromise on before I take on your question. You can't compromise on somebody who has shown you evidence of being violent. That if he gets you, he will beat you. Except that you are not in an enclosed space. So that thing has not succeeded. The person has attempted to maybe slap you twice or three times. And then you compromise on it and hope that they will change. Or you see a totally deviant behavior. Whilst you are with the person, he is having affairs with other women, and he does all manner of things you know definitely has become part and parcel of him. You don't pray about those things. You are seeing them because, like we've been discussing, in courtship, you meet the representative of your spouse, not the person, the rep. And like lady said, you multiply the rep by 1,000 times. If you multiply by 1,000, there are certain things you should just quietly walk away. That is why our advice to the young people is walk in love. Don't fall.
Yeah.
When you fall, you have injuries. You have no one to lift you.
Wow.
Walk in it. And when you are in trouble, you walk out. When you see the signs that you can't deal with, you walk out. Because this whole marriage thing is a business of sacrifice. You are lying on the table, sacrificial love, both ways. So if you go in there and think that the person is the one who is going to sacrifice, you're on the wrong course. Because God While society says that look for the right person, God tells you that be the right kind of person.
Amen.
Yeah, because if you check Genesis 2:24, say the two shall be. The shall be there is work. So be the right person. This is I will make the two one. That would have become God's business. You see, the two shall be. And so when you are growing, the second thing I would want before you even get into marriage, the second thing I would want you to be talking about seriously in courtship is to put a vision, a roadmap on paper to guide you when you start this relationship. You see, most marriages fall into this abyss of trouble and interference because they don't have common ground. They have not discussed it. They have not worked at it. So when somebody comes in and say, I want you to do this, he goes and say, they say I should do this, which means that you don't have any mind of your own. But if any time somebody comes into the relationship, the thing is, we have decided to do this. We have decided to do that.
Yeah.
Once people find a common front, whilst you are married, the interference is almost zero, because anytime they come, whether you meet the wife or the husband, the word we will be used.
Yeah.
And it does not become you trying to lobby the person to go against what the two have decided.
Sure.
So the we also applies to money. When you are getting married, before you get married, your money is your money. When you get married, your money is our money. And anytime I hear people fighting over those little, I call them little issues, it implies that you are not married. You are living together. Oh yes, seriously. I mean, why will you hide your money from your wife or from your husband? It means that you are living together. You are two people living together and making babies, but you have not actually married. Because if you are married, like if you saw ladies' hands, the two fingers came intertwining into each other to form a common fist. I'm not sure whether you observed it. She was doing it, I'm sure she was doing it unconsciously, but it was there. Anytime she talks about it, she brought the two fingers, the two hands, and interlocked the fingers. So if I have 1 pesewa, you have 10 pesewas. If you have 1 pesewa, you have 10,000. We have 10,000 and 1 pesewa. It belongs to us.
Yeah.
It does not belong to you. And this whole fear of hiding investments and everything, the people should be reading Job chapter 3, verse 25. It implies that you are thinking in your head that should the marriage break up, then your money will not be touched. It means that you are already thinking of divorce.
Yeah.
But if you are going to be there for the rest of your life, your children are going to continue your kingdom or your nationhood, and your grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to continue. Check from Abraham to the nation of Israel. Where along the line was Abraham hiding his money or hiding investments or anything? We have to be naked in finances, naked in physics, naked in our dealings. In fact, if there is any confidant in your life when you get married, it has to be your wife or your husband.
Great.
Because you have been eating the person's food. If you are not afraid to put the food inside your mouth, inside your belly, why are you afraid to expose your mind? That which can make you live or kill you, you eat with the zeal and alacrity, and then you go and hide flimsy things like money, which can get lost in no time.
Exactly. Sometimes you wonder the thinking behind it.
Yeah. Be open. You are married, and you are going to be in this for the rest of your life. and lady will tell you, and like I always say, when you do that, trust becomes almost 100%. And this whole idea of when you close and you're going home, you are even relaxed because there's nobody will find any cobweb if they begin to dig. They won't find any skeleton anywhere. And so I when you marry, just be open. And love this whole thing that you are married. As simple and straightforward as that. When it comes to child upbringing, of course, go back to the manual. The manual for life is Bible. That is where we pick everything from. And make sure that, yes, your experiences are going to count as to how you raise them. And again, we are coming from two different backgrounds. In one house, the parents may have been violent. In the other house, the parents may have been loving. But you need to come to that compromise where violence becomes not the thing, because God loves us anyway, whether we are bad or we are good. And I always tell people who are raising children, what your children do is what is bad. The people are not bad. That is what Jesus taught us when he met the prostitute. They say, I do not condemn you as a person, but what you are doing, do it no more. And if we adopt those skills in raising up the children, the area of conflict is going to be the same. And one of the things we need to do is we must be sitting in the same church, receiving the same direction. The husband cannot be attending one church and the wife attending one church. And this is one of the things that those young people who want to get married to must settle. When we marry, which church are we going? It must be set on the ground before you get to the altar. You don't get to the altar and go home and say that, as for me, I have many friends in my church, so I'm going there. And then she also says that I have many friends in my church, I'm going there. And the two of you are apart. When your children grow, if you are not careful, they are going to be suffering from spiritual diarrhea. Or they will be eating from many places and get confused along the line.
Great. Thank you very much. We're in school this morning. Lady Reverend, I actually would want to find out from you. Often when people say that, oh, we are not compatible, it's not working, he doesn't understand me, I don't understand him, I think I am not the best person for him, I think he or she will be happier elsewhere. And what informs this? When people say that it's not working because they are not compatible, usually what is the challenge?
Before I get there, I wanted to say something about what Reverend said, that we should be open about our finances, we shouldn't hide anything. That's true, but you have situations like Nabal and Abigail. And as Reverend said, it's based on trust. So when a person also knows that all the money she brings is used on drinking, girls, other things, the person will not be confident or will not even be wise to bring everything, so that in the end, the man himself is hungry because of some of the times, the decisions he takes. So, yes, we have what we should do, and then we have what we need good understanding and wisdom from, like Abigail, because the Bible says she was a woman of good understanding, to understand where we are at and how to go around it. So even though she went around it, she had Nabal's interest at heart. But she couldn't, at that moment, tell him everything, because he would not have agreed, and he would have allowed the forces of David to just come and destroy them. So she just took certain decisions and then finally told him. So sometimes, depending on the crooked situations that people find themselves in, they may not be able to do certain things. And even in that, the partner's interest should be paramount, but you need wisdom to know how to go around it. Because I have counseled women whose husbands gamble. So when it comes to, there's no food, because you have a joint account and you have spent everything in it gambling.
Oh my God.
Gambling all the posh hotels and the casinos. So in that case, you cannot be naked, because if you are, you go for yeah. So sometimes certain things call for wisdom and understanding. And what was my real question before I?
Robert, just a minute. Do you want to say anything to that before I remind you of the question?
Oh no.
You agree, right?
It's a good addition. And again, I mean, seriously, if you look at
from a man who does the right, I mean, who understands, who you don't, I mean, you know everything, you two, you know everything. The two were naked, not one naked and the other one
wearing all his dress.
Yes, her clothes.
So at a point, you have to become wise.
Yeah,
you are wise in your nakedness.
Just let me add that if you are running a business, I mean, and you have to sanitize the business operations from how you run your home.
Okay, great.
Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Because the business will run on a certain wheels and certain principles. So if you are running businesses, you must have business account. My wife has a business account. I have my business account. And then we have the district assembly common pot where we, we spend on the house and everything. Yeah. So those trying to sanitize those situations is also
normal. Okay.
Yeah, as Lady said. Yeah.
Lady Robin, I was asking that people who say that it's not working, I think we're not compatible. I think someone else would be better for him or her. I don't think I'm the right person for. Meanwhile, you have probably been in a relationship with the person, or you are even married, and you're realizing along the line that it's not working because you guys just don't seem to agree on anything. And I know couples sit down to have conversations, and then every time it turns into a fight. So they would rather not have conversations. I'm asking that when you get to that point where you're telling yourself, or you're telling your spouse, or you're telling a counselor that we're not compatible, it's not working, usually what happens? How do people get there?
If it's a relationship, then you can have an option. But having said so, the reason why we are not willing to work, no, we are not willing to work on any differences or any, like, everything should be what I want. So it's selfishness and it's self-centeredness. Okay. Usually, not all, but usually that gets us to that place. Because like Reverend said, it's a thing of sacrifice. But which bride or groom is thinking about the cross when they are walking down the aisle? The cross doesn't come in at all, but the cross is the main thing. Because you will be crucified to your desire, your
many times.
Your self-centered. And when you are crucified, you cry out. Even Jesus, he wept. I mean, on the cross, he cried out to God, So, I think that many of us are not willing to pay the price or to go to the cross. And the easier part is just to walk out. And I mean, it's a carrot that is dangled in front of you. You think about it and say, I mean, what the heck? I'm this, I have this, I did it. I mean, why? And then it's easier to walk. But after you have walked out, the real things begin. Because Satan will never show you what you are going to see after. And then usually after you find out that staying in was the frying pan. And often going out was the fire. So because of our selfish nature, which is very human, even when you ask people, why do you want to get married to this person? Oh, he's kind, he's loving. All our reasons are about ourselves. What we will get. Why do you like this woman? She's submissive, she's a good cook, she's beautiful, I think she'll satisfy me sexually. When you look at all our reasons, it's all because of self. But when you mature a bit, especially in marriage, you realize that, it wasn't about me, but I didn't know that. But the word of God helps you. Because There are so many things you discover in marriage that you don't discover in relationships. But God has been there before. Marriage is His idea. And if we can, in humility and even in suffering, obey Him, I think that He can bring us to a good place. But when you are even in a relationship and every day is war, every day the Taliban is there, then you must advise yourself. Because, as I said, times 1,000 when you marry, it may be World War III. So, it's a give and take, That's what I think.
One of the funny things you come across even whilst you counsel people is there are people whose relationship thrive on conflict.
Yeah.
They fight every day. They disagree on everything, but they are still in the home together.
Mm-hmm.
That's their it's a conflict habituated marriage, but you can't just understand why the center theme of their relationship is conflict.
Yeah. I was actually going to come, to find out from us, how about, we know that conflicts are inevitable in, in marriage and in every human institution, even with yourself. You always, even with yourself, So, which eye must we use to also look at conflicts in that relationship and its resolution leading to marriage? But I will be back in just a moment to take your answers on that.
You do what?
One Ghana cedi pay. Enjoy your Dano milk and be strong. This advert is vetted and approved by the FDA.
Because the greatest things are born from the smallest of thoughts. Just as your seeds in a rich soil grow to become trees that bear fruits, the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB, helps you sow, invest, nurture, and grow your personal and business plans by serving you with years of banking ingenuity and experience in agribusiness, corporate and commercial banking, consumer finance, e-banking, and many more through our network branches across the country. Whatever the culture, whatever the dream, we grow with you. Call us today on 0302-210-210 or visit www.agricbank.com. ADB, truly agric and more.
You've got game and game's got you. Visit Game Stores for unbeatable deals on all your electronics, health and fitness, cooking and essential needs. Our WhatsApp delivery service is still open for your convenience. Simply call or WhatsApp your nearest store. Confirm your shopping list and make payment via EFT or mobile money. Once payment is confirmed, expect delivery or pickup within 48 hours. T's and C's apply. That's why shopping at Game Stores is so easy, because you've got game and game's got you.
Improvise an auto-gas cylinder. Make sure the auto-gas cylinder is properly installed by a qualified technician. Always keep a fire extinguisher handy in case of a fire. Stand at a safe distance and attack the base of the flames. Avoid decanting LPG from one cylinder to the other. Domestic transfer of LPG should be avoided. Cars fitted with auto-gas cylinders should be filled at the appropriate filling stations. A message from the National Petroleum Authority.
Thank you for staying through with us, Home Affairs on Joy997 FM. We have been talking about compatibility. My guest, Reverend Okuming Mensah and Lady Reverend Adelaide Heward Mills. I would like to hear the phone line shortly and see if we can pick a few phone calls. 0302216541. But before then, Milk just got exciting with Dano Milk. Dano Milk has 3 extra amazing powdered milk flavors to its plain milk, and they come in chocolate, strawberry, and coffee. Beyond being creamy and tasty with pleasant and natural aroma, they are healthy and nutritious, and that helps you to grow strong mentally and physically. Get your favorite Dano Milk at 1 Ghana cedi only. That's for the 40-gram sachet, and serve it with cold, warm, or hot water. Dano Milk, strength comes from within. And I'd like to use this opportunity to very big thank you to the team at Ala Food Dano Milk. Last week they gave us boxes of Dano Milk to give away to my listeners on the occasion of my birthday. So thank you very much, Dano Milk. I appreciate that gesture. To Labadi Beach Hotel also for the vouchers. God bless you. Star Bites the same. Papa's Pizza. God bless all of you. And Dream Desserts. I got a beautiful cake from Dream Desserts that Saturday. Thank you. Golden Tulip as well. That on, whilst COVID is here and business is not flowing, they still remembered me. So thank you. Thank you all very much for making my birthday a beautiful one. And for all of you who sent messages, wishes here and there, God bless you. Back to our conversation. Great. Okay, so I was asking about conflicts, and how to resolve them when it comes up, during the conversation. What do you look out for if, in like we said, conflicts are inevitable; they will come. But what do you look out for when there are conflicts? You shouldn't. I don't believe that you would say people should just walk away when you disagree with your partner. No. But you probably would have to look at how you go about solving that problem or those conflicts, and what should we really be looking out for? Yes, Lady Reverend.
I think that even in the relationship, you should start to build a machinery as to how conflict will be resolved. It's not always going to be easy, but build it, gradually. So, how are we going to resolve our conflicts? And what are going to be the rules? Because when we get into the conflict zone, we all manifest. Somebody will be crying, somebody will be shouting, somebody may be banging the door, walking away, So how are we going to behave? Or what is the expected thing in the time of conflict? And I feel that some of the things, like the Bible says that let your words be seasoned with grace. Even when you are, but it doesn't come easy, so it takes some practice to learn to speak with grace. The Bible says, let each person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. But we do the opposite. We are slow to hear, but we are quick to speak, and we are quick to anger. So if we lay out these things, especially in the relationship, it will help us to know and to build something for filtering our conflict. And sometimes it's not even time to speak. I have learned by experience that it's not necessary to speak in the same forum when the person is speaking. It's not a law court that when you say, then I get on my feet and say objection. It's not like that. And it's not looking for a flawed argument so that I can win the argument. It's more about making peace and pleasing God,
Okay.
Putting the interest of the other person before yours. That is the part of sacrifice. Because Philippians 2 says, count others better than yourself. And the human being is not easy to have the person's interest, the person's happiness, the person's peace better than yourself. It takes divine empowerment to be able to do that. But when we both do that, then we are both going somewhere. When you count my interest better and I interest better, then it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
But when you don't, am I willing to still show you divine love? Love your enemies. Sometimes you see yourself as your enemy. That verse applies to you. Do good to them that hate you. Sometimes you feel your spouse doesn't like you, but to do good. Some people don't say, okay, if that's the case, 30 days no food, 30 days no sex, 30 days, is that what the light we have, which is God's will, is that what it says? So conflicts will come, but how we handle it, be quick to speak, be quick to hear, not quick to speak, slow to speak, because you are just assimilating what the person is saying. You are trying to get the person's frustration so that you can solve it, and it takes humility and all these things. That is why marriage is sacrificial. But you can start by doing that in a relationship. And I think that by God's grace, you come to a good place. Even the US, the job is not easy. Conflict is never easy to resolve. But with the tenets of words, I think you can get it. I have learned after some years not to speak in the same forum. But after, then I come and I say, but in the forum I may say, I may seek to understand what you are saying. But after I'll come and say, the last time when you were saying this, actually, it isn't like that. This side is this. And I have found by experience that it's better take. But when you shoot, I also shoot. It doesn't lead us far.
Right.
So, and an answer sends away wrath. A soft answer breaks the bones. There are so many things. But if you shout, I also shout. If you, it doesn't get us
anywhere.
Answer can break bones. So you have to.
0302. Well, just a moment. I'll come to you. 0302216541. We can take a few phone calls as we go along. And if I am picking anything, Lady Reverend, in relation to looking out for compatibility and looking out for what to do, whether to stay in there or walk away. If I picked anything, you talked about the fact that conflict will come, but we should all be looking at how to resolve it and not who is winning the argument or who is winning the fight.
The other person before you.
Great.
That is where the dying comes in.
So when you realize that all the time there is a disagreement in a relationship, and this other person would always want to stand up for who they are, tell you are wrong, are not willing to... What do you do in that situation?
I think that most people have a way of coming around people, but you have to study them to know. And then also, that's why we have the tribunals and the courts, a referee, a counselor, a pastor, somebody you both respect, and step in and speak to you, both parties. When the thing is not working, you can have arbitrary arbitration, alternative dispute resolution.
Okay.
All right. Because every game has a referee who plays the whistle, and the referee is not on either side of the team.
Great.
Referee is neutral, loves both of you, loves God, and is willing to take you to the next step.
So it's one of the things that we should be willing to work at.
Yes, and some of us, the referees we have are very bad friends. Very bad. And some of us, our referees are Nigerian movies. Action and what people are doing, and so. Take a referee.
Yes, Reverend Okobe.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, just riding on where Lady left, one of the things people must allow in marriage is to allow people to express their opinion on a matter. None of this is a repository of all wisdom. If you allow that self-expression, don't allow the fact that you have divergent opinions on a matter to develop into an argument. What Lady was talking about, looking for who will lose and who will win. Because when it gets into an argument, it becomes a confrontation, then it develops into a conflict. But if that self-expression is allowed, express yourself. the best you can say, and I normally will say, is I agree to disagree with your opinion. But opinion is your personal property, and I can't take it away from you. So I'm not going to say that I am right and you are wrong. Great. According to everything, I am the right person. In marriage, we are not having scorecards. Otherwise, the two of you are not one. If you win, who has won? And if you lose, who has lost?
Great.
Yeah, the two of you are one. So one way of it is what I'm saying. Allow self-expression.
Okay.
Let people express themselves. And like ladies say, when somebody is expressing his or her opinion, be all ears.
Okay, let me speak to Prince and come back. Hello, okay. Prince, good morning. Oh, Prince is not on the line. Okay.
So after that, be all ears. After you've listened, and sometimes it's good not to make any comment at that point in time. And postpone it. And sometimes you need even to postpone your judgment permanently. Because coming to be the judge and the jury is going to create challenges for you. And you are going for the long haul. So you don't have time to digress into paths that are not part of your journey.
Okay.
And that is what I say of conflict. You won't avoid it, but you can always douse the flame by being the peacemaker.
Okay. Great.
And one way or the other, it happens both ways. It is not one person always becoming the peacemaker. When it is your turn to you must do that, because you see these conflicts, if you don't work on it very well, what happens is it turns to unceasing criticism.
Reverend, just one moment. Hello, Hassan.
Yeah.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, Hassan. We're listening.
I'm calling from Accra.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I'll be listening to your conversation this morning.
Hassan, please speak up a little.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead and speak up a little.
I'll be listening to your conversation this morning, and I really appreciate the matter you are discussing. And I want to share something small with you.
Okay.
I got married 4 months now.
We can't hear.
Getting to 4 months now.
Okay.
And then I and my wife, every day we go to work, and then we come, in terms of money issues, it has become problem. Me, when I got my money, we all share together. But when she got the money, we take the money aside, and then, whenever she needs something to buy, I sponsor her, and then I give her top money every day. But me, when I need something from her, it
Is it that you're not working now?
Oh, I'm working. Every day I go to work.
Okay.
Even nowadays, my mother requests money from her, and then the little amount that was there, she took everything to send to her mother, and when I was going to complain, it became problem.
Okay.
And then, right now, even we are in the same room, but nothing is going. There is no respect. Nothing is going on. So I don't know.
And the marriage is only 4 months.
Yes, the marriage is 4 months now.
Okay. Hassan, my guests have heard. The challenge I have here is that my time is up. But Daniela will take your contact, and then we'll see how to help you on this one, okay? Because it's a very sad one. 4 months. Lady Reverend, did you hear at a point?
I didn't.
Okay, so he's been married for 4 months, and his money is their money. Wife's money is her money. When she needs support from wife is unwilling to support. Even when he needed money, his wife sent every money that he needed help from his wife. His mother-in-law also needed help. Wife sent all the money to mother-in-law and didn't mind him. They are in the same room. There's no respect. Nothing is happening, and the marriage is only 4 months. Meanwhile, I have just a minute to wrap up.
I think.
Yeah. Okay. So we will be wrapping up on the show. Honestly, I will talk after here. I'll call and then find out what we can do, because one of the questions that came up whilst we were speaking is, to what extent must you make adjustments and sacrifices in a relationship leading to marriage, such that you don't end up losing yourself in that bid to want to compromise a little, to want to sacrifice and work on the relationship? If you don't take care, you would be doing all of this, and by the time you realize, all you have been doing is to please the other person, and you are lost in all of it. And I think it's a very big concern. We'll find out which other forum we can use to address these. But I'd like to say a very big thank you to you, Lady Reverend Adelaide Hewitt Mills, and to you, Reverend Okumi, for joining us this morning on Home Affairs. It's been a school, and we're very appreciative of your time. God bless you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you too.
Thank you. So this is how we're ending Home Affairs today. We always wish that there was, a lot more time, but we will find ways around it, definitely. Thank you all for doing the listening. When you go to my Joy Online podcast, is there. We're live on Facebook and YouTube as well, so you can catch it up. And then we will be doing some updates as well of some of the points that were raised on the show. I appreciate all of you for doing the listening. Weekend City Show is up next with Sammy Forsin and the squad.
DSTV and the leaks are the big boys.